You have false miracles. St. Paul said that there will come a time when we'll have Antichrist figures who will do lying wonders. Now the devil, crafty as he is, with permission from God, can set up and take away blockages to make it seem like a cure has taken place. So if someone opens themselves up to the occult or the diabolic, which Alexandra Romanov did, she did seek occult sources trying to figure out how she could have a boy. Then once she had a boy, handsome young man, everybody loved him. He was very lovable. But he had hemophilia. And every time he suffered from hemophilia, she would call in Grigori Rasputin, who was a faith healer. He would bless him and pray over him, and each time Alexei got better, and it seemed miraculous, especially due to the nearness of death that had happened once or twice. So he was close to death. Rasputin comes in and blesses him and prays over him, and he gets better. But it's really important to understand that Alexei was never cured of hemophilia and required a very long recovery period at times. Sometimes shorter, but always long. In other words, it wasn't overnight, but months. Is this truly a miracle?
On New Year's Eve in the year 1916, a party was held in honor of a very evil man. This evil man had falsely portrayed himself as being Christian, in fact, a very holy monk. And as a result, this wolf in sheep's clothing had gained much power within the royal family of Russia. The leaders of this empire, the Tsar, his wife, the Tsarina, were completely taken in by this supposedly holy man who was named Rasputin. And Rasputin was especially able to gain influence because he had these special magical powers that could help their son, the son of the Tsar, the future Tsar of Russia, who suffered from hemophilia. Whenever there was an episode of bleeding in the young boy, Rasputin would be called in to save the little boy from bleeding to death. He would never bring healing to the boy, but he would somehow magically stop the bleeding for a while. Rasputin's evil influence over the royal family of Russia, along with the horrible effects of World War I, was destroying poor Russia and threatening the very survival of the Tsar and his family. But that New Year's Eve party I mentioned was actually a trap set for Rasputin by patriots of Russia. See, the food and drink given to this false monk were heavily laced with doses of cyanide. But as they fed Rasputin more and more poison, they found him completely unaffected. Next, the friends of the Tsar and patriots of Russia would try guns. They shot Rasputin right through the heart. He fell, but there was absolutely no blood, and he continued to breathe. Within minutes, Rasputin arose once again and began to roar and behave like a beast. And as he began his escape through a side door, 4 more shots rang out, one hitting him through the shoulder, another through the neck. And yet, he continued to live. Soon the assassins began to beat Rasputin with canes and sticks, anything they could find, but he remained alive. Finally, they wrapped up his body in a large curtain, and they threw his body into an icy river. And as the body flowed down the river, Rasputin's head was cut open when it hit a bridge column along the river. The next morning, the body of Rasputin was found completely encased in ice. But strangely enough, the lungs of the body were filled with water, and an arm was reaching upwards, suggesting and showing, in fact, that Rasputin had still been alive in the water, trying to escape and breathe. The Catholic historian, a man named Dr. Warren Carroll, claims that Rasputin was most likely possessed by demons, and that there is no clear example in human history of satanic possession affecting the outcome of world events. Because what followed after Rasputin's death was the assassination of the Tsar, his wife, and all their children. A Christian nation with a certain Christian order where Christ reigned as king would soon become an atheistic one when the Bolsheviks took power in the year 1917. The Communist Revolution and the rise of a godless and Christless culture is considered the most important secular event of the 20th century.